what makes this course unique?
We set the course up about 5 years ago, and before we did so we spent a lot of time talking to various media organisations, so the print press, broadcast media and the Press Association, because we wanted to find out what it was that they wanted from trainee journalists. And the conclusion was that the most important sorts of skills, apart from basic news writing and news gathering and knowledge of media law, was an ability to use all sorts of digital tools to be able to produce multimedia news stories, so ones that contain video and images and or sound clips. So that's really what we've concentrated on.
Yep. If you could give a brief description about the course.
It's a 3-year BA Honours course, and in the first year we give students a general introduction to the skills they're going to need in terms of news writing and news gathering, knowledge of media law, which is incredibly important, so they know what they can put out there and what they shouldn't. And then use of social media is a very important part of the course, so they use lots of different sorts of social media. And then basic introduction to using video and sound and photography as well, editing skills, and beginning to do some live client projects. So we work with a lot of external companies, media industry companies, and we start students getting the opportunity to work with clients so they understand how you go about that process. In the second year, students begin to be a bit more independent, so they have the chance to set up their own projects, obviously to a fairly wide brief, so that they start going out and looking for contacts and understanding how to develop projects alongside clients. We try and make sure that they all have work experience, so that we expect people to do a couple of stints of work experience every year, and also a variety of stuff. So people work on print, they also work in radio, particularly local radio, and if they can manage it, get some experience working in TV. So we're beginning to build up a really sort of broad range of skills and understanding about media industries and the sort of work they're going to need to do. In that second year, they have a self-initiated project, which is really the first one they actually organise and plan for themselves. And then that follows on in the third year with 3 projects that they set up for themselves, again to certain sort of briefs, an outline framework, and again working with clients. Often by the third year we find that students are working part-time in the media industry in some capacity or other, so we encourage them to use that work that they're producing and they're able to submit that for assessment. Alongside all of that practical stuff, we have a theory-based module. It runs through all 3 years, so that's getting students to research and understand how the context of journalism is changing or has changed, and why the skills that they're learning and the knowledge that they need of the industry is important in terms of that sort of history. And then in the final year they write a dissertation on a subject of their choice which matches to their practical interests. So it's a very broad course. We also include shorthand as an optional, very important skill for particularly print journalists, and we do encourage people to follow that all through the 3 years. If they can. It's not for everybody, but it's a great skill and very important.
Yeah. Last question then, why study JDM?
We think that journalism and digital media is a really vibrant and interesting subject. I mean, obviously you hope that people are going to get jobs at the end of it, and we do our best to prepare students for employability, but also because journalism is an area where you need to have a really strong interest in the world, where you need to be curious, you want to know what's going on, and I think that's good for any student really. At Hull School of Art and Design we have fairly small numbers on each year, so that means we can really give students individual attention. We can work to their strengths and we can support them in setting up their own projects according to their interests and the sort of areas that they want to follow. And because across the 3 years we often work together. We have news days where we get all our students working together, and it builds up a really good sort of bond and vibrant interest in the subject that they're studying. So, you know, the staff really enjoy working with our students, and we work very much as a team, and I think we're able to do that because, you know, we're not a huge course and it's very practically based.